The Chicago Bears are back in action this Monday night against the Minnesota Vikings. Who's going to win this matchup? Watch this video to find out. What's going on, guys? I'm back with the Chicago Bears prediction videos, which I'll be doing every single week this year. So if you guys want more Bears prediction videos from me, subscribe to this channel. If you guys notice, I have a different background because I'm actually on vacation right now. Okay, I'm in Los Angeles for the next 7 days. I'm having fun on vacation, but I'll still try to get these videos out to you guys, you know, before the game and after the game. There probably aren't going to be too many other videos in that time span, and these videos are going to be a little bit short, and I also don't have my proper recording stuff, so it might sound a little bit different. I think the lighting is actually better here in my hotel room than it is in my house, which is pretty funny. But let me talk about this game, guys. And to be honest, at this point, which I'm recording on Friday night, I don't even know if this game is going to happen, right? Because there's been so many other postponements in the NFL and NBA. NFL has already postponed 3 games due to COVID. NBA has also postponed, you know, some Bulls games, and there's been a massive COVID outbreak in like all the major American sports for some reason right now, which is kind of crazy. Okay, so we ourselves have a bunch of guys out due to COVID. Okay, first of all, 3 of our coordinators, all 3 coordinators of each, you know, part of the team, they're all going to be out due to COVID for this game. Bill Lazor is not going to be coaching in this game. Sean Desai is not going to be coaching either. Chris Tabor is not going to be there either. So I don't think I've ever seen a game in NFL history where one team has all 3 of their major coordinators out for some reason. So that's obviously not going to be good for us, not having our coordinators there, because that means Matt Nagy has practically all the say, okay, on that day. And we also have players out as well, okay? So we have Allen Robinson out for COVID. Eddie Jackson is out. A couple other guys are out as well. Andy Dalton is not going to be playing. He's the backup, but he's not going to be there because he has COVID. We also have a bunch of injuries on the roster too, guys. Like, you know, Roquan Smith was limited. Akeem Hicks, I still don't know if he's going to practice. Like, we have so many injuries all across the board to the point where I don't even know if the Bears have a roster that can be competitive in this game. And I realize for that reason, for other reasons as well, for example, the fact that we're 4-8 right now, we have practically no shot at making the playoffs. Like, there's not going to be a whole lot of interest in this game among Bears fans, okay? Except if you're a loyal, diehard fan that just loves watching these games like I do, like I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. Like, it's going to be really tough to watch the rest of the season because it just doesn't feel like there's anything to watch for, okay? Our head coach is going to be fired, hopefully. We have just such bad leadership right now, but the only thing keeping me going this season is obviously guys like Justin Fields, TEVEN, JENKINS, JAYLON Johnson. There's still a whole lot of young talent on this team that I'm going to be really excited to watch for the rest of the season. Even if the Bears don't make the playoffs, these games still matter for these younger guys. So keeping all that in mind, guys, I'm going to make this game preview pretty short. I'm not going to go very in-depth on both rosters just because I feel like, especially with COVID, I don't know who's going to be playing in this game. I don't know if this game is going to happen. And also, like, the Bears season at this point, it doesn't matter if we win these games or we don't, because really there's next to no chance we make the playoffs. All I'm looking for in these last games is development and progress from our rookies and our younger guys, okay? So JAYLON Johnson, TEVEN JENKINS, Justin Fields, Darnell Mooney, Roquan Smith, like other younger guys, like I'm going to be looking at how they're doing in these games. And hopefully we still win because I'd like to see the Bears win, but I'm not going to be that affected if we lose these games either. But with all that being said, let me tell you guys some things to watch out for in this game, what things I'm going to be watching out for personally in this game. And obviously, you know, the biggest thing is going to be how does rookie quarterback Justin Fields rebound from his performance against the Green Bay Packers last Sunday night. His performance last weekend wasn't horrible in any way. Like, he did make a bunch of really good throws, some really good plays, but he also had a horrible pick 6. He also missed on a couple of throws, which would have kept the chains moving. So he didn't have the best of best days against the Packers, but that's not such a big deal because he did miss, you know, a good amount of time due to injury. The Packers also were a top 5 defense over the past, you know, 8 or 9 weeks. So I'm not obviously freaking out about Fields' performance last weekend. It was pretty good in some regards. Okay, he did throw 2 touchdowns, had a good amount of yards, but he can improve a lot on that performance. And going up against the defense in the Minnesota Vikings, which ranks number 29 according to yards, number 25 according to points. Like, this defense is not good at all, guys. Okay, they've given up points practically this entire season. Can Justin Fields put together a strong performance against this defense? I do think it is possible. It is going to be hard though, guys, because obviously we have guys out. Like Allen Robinson is not going to be there, but he I mean, he's not doing that good this year anyway, so I guess it's not a horrible loss, but still, it would be nice to have him. We don't have him. We have injuries on the offensive line as well. Right tackle Larry Borum has COVID, so he's not going to be playing in this game. Our left tackle Jason Peters might also be out for this game, which if he's out, guys, that would be an enormous loss, okay? Because he's been one of the only bright spots on the offensive line this year for the Bears. So hopefully Peters plays, but if not, then we have, you know, TEVEN Jenkins obviously there. We have Jermaine Ifedi coming back off the injured reserve. So we do have some other guys, but it's still probably not going to be a great O-line for Fields. So can Fields, you know, get past it, okay? Because the Vikings do have the #1 defense in the NFL according to sacks, okay? They sack the quarterback at a very high rate. They have 41 sacks on the season. So even though they lack in coverage, okay, they have pretty bad cornerbacks besides like Cameron Dantzler. They don't have great coverage play from their linebackers either. Like, they allow a lot of points and a lot of yards, but they can get to the quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see how Fields can counteract that, okay? He's going to have to get the ball out pretty fast. He's going to have to take shots down the field when they're there, when, you know, the coverage breaks down, because they will break down at some point in this game, guys. The Vikings defense has not been good down the field in coverage, and hopefully Fields can also take advantage of his speed and use that to his advantage as well, okay, to evade those sacks, to evade that pressure, and hopefully put together a pretty good performance. Another guy I'm looking out for as well, which I talked about earlier, is TEVEN Jenkins, okay? Rookie tackle TEVEN Jenkins. He might be playing on the right side in this game if Jason Peters is back, because Peters would then, you know, play the left side, and then since Larry Borum is out, Jenkins will play the right side. And I'm really hoping we can see TEVEN Jenkins bounce back from his pretty poor performance last weekend against the Packers. Last weekend against the Packers, that was his first time ever playing in the NFL at one of the hardest positions to play in the entire sport. Okay, going up against the Packers on primetime television, that was not the best time to get thrown in whatsoever, especially for a rookie that hasn't played football in over a year now, guys. Okay, before that game, last game he played was like, I think November, December with Oklahoma State. So I don't blame TEVEN Jenkins for having a bad performance because he was out for that long. He's also a rookie. So there are going to be a lot of growing pains, guys, but I really hope that TEVEN Jenkins can take some steps forward, okay? Needs to be quicker on his feet, needs to be better in pass protection, needs to be better in limiting penalties. Now, going up against the Vikings defense that is #1 in the NFL in sacks, that's not going to be an easy task at all, guys. So I'm definitely expecting some rough, you know, plays from TEVEN Jenkins because this is a pretty good defense. He's also a rookie that's, you know, going to be starting his first game ever. So don't expect perfection at all, but I'm hoping for some signs of positive development, okay? He is one of the most talented players in the Bears offense moving forward still. Like, he was one of the best left tackle prospects in the draft this year, guys. Like, a lot of people wanted him at pick number 20 in the first round. He somehow slid to us, and I'm still confident he's going to be an elite tackle in the future, but there are going to be some growing pains. Hopefully, he can take some steps forward in this game. And then finally, the last guy I'm really going to be looking at a lot in this game is cornerback JAYLON Johnson, okay? JAYLON Johnson had a fantastic outing last game against the Packers, guys. Okay, going up against Davante Adams, one of the best receivers in the NFL. In the first half, he completely shut Davante Adams down. Okay, they went away from JAYLON in the second half, though. So, you know, JAYLON wasn't really guarding Davante Adams anymore, and Adams completely shredded the rest of our secondary. So, in this game, guys, I'm guessing that JAYLON is going to be on Jefferson the majority of this game, unless they decide to go away from him, like, you know, the Packers did. But hopefully, JAYLON is going to be covering, you know, Jefferson this game, and hopefully he can, you know, repeat the performance he had against Davante Adams. Obviously, here and there, he is going to be burnt because receivers this good, okay? Justin Jefferson has been one of the best receivers in the game this year, okay? He has 1,288 receiving yards, 8 receiving touchdowns, too. This guy's been a flat-out stud the entire season. He's practically unguardable. If JAYLON can limit him to even having less than, like, 60 or 70 yards, that would be a win in my book, guys, because that's how good that Justin Jefferson actually is. So those are some big guys to watch out for. As for my 3 keys to Bears victory, let me gloss over this pretty fast. But key number 1, guys, is going to be to have more big plays on special teams. It seems like the only way we can score sometimes is by making big plays on special teams. And against the Packers, we got a ton of those big plays, which is why we were even competitive in that game, guys. We had what should have been maybe 3 special teams touchdowns. Only one of them counted. We had big returns every single time, and that's how we were able to actually score, you know, 30 points in that game. And, you know, going up against a team like the Vikings, we might have to do something similar because we're going to have a lot of guys out in this game. And our offense isn't that good to begin with. So if you want to win this game, we're going to need another big return out of Jakeem Grant. We're going to need maybe another, fumble recovery off the kickoff or off a punt or something. You're going to have to make a big play if you want to beat a team like the Vikings. So that's key number one, guys. Key number two, that's going to be to help out the struggling secondary with a dominant pass rush up front. I don't expect, Kindle Vildor or Thomas Graham or whoever else is going to be playing cornerback in this game. It seems like we only have two healthy cornerbacks right now. We only have JAYLON and Kindle Vildor healthy for this game. Maybe Thomas Graham gets called up, but whatever the case is, guys, we're going to have two cornerbacks out there that probably don't know how to cover, great receivers. So Adam Thielen could probably go off. KJ Osborne too. Like Jalen Johnson is the only guy that I'm confident is capable of covering anybody. So we're going to need our pass rush to be dominant in this game. We're going to need like 4, maybe 5 sacks to win, because how else are we going to limit this really explosive Vikings offense? This Vikings offense is top 5 in moving the football down the field. Okay, in terms of yards, they have been absolutely outstanding. Kirk Cousins is having a career year. So we're going to need guys like Robert Quinn, Travis Gibson, whoever else is out there. They're going to have to get to the quarterback. Otherwise, we have no chance at stopping this Vikings offense. And then finally, key number 3, guys, is going to be to have an offensive explosion from rookie quarterback Justin Fields. We're going to need to have a career day out of Justin Fields. Even though he's missing receivers, even though he's missing O-linemen, he's going to have to make magic out of nothing and score 30 plus, because I don't think our defense is good enough to hold this Vikings to below 30. As for my score prediction for this game, I have the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football going into this game against the Vikings and losing by a score of 31-24. And to be honest, guys, I can't pick a win for this Bears team with where we're at this point in time. Okay, I have no faith at all in Matt Nagy to coach this team, and we also have 3 coordinators out for this game. We have so many guys injured all across the roster. It'll be kind of surprising if we are even competitive in this game. Now, obviously, I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Bears win by a lot. I hope Justin Fields has a glorious day, but being completely unbiased, I can't pick the Bears to win this game with where the team is at this point in time. So sadly, I have the Bears losing. As for my offense MVP for this game, I have that being Justin Fields. He's the only guy I have faith in at this point in time. And for defense, I have that being Jalen Johnson, because also on the defensive side, he is the only guy I have a lot of faith in to really cover any of the other receivers. So there you have it, guys. A pretty short and quick video. Again, apologies for that. I'm on vacation, so I don't have a ton of time, but I hope you guys still enjoy the video, and I hope the Bears win, man. I hope the Bears really prove me wrong, because I hate to pick the Bears to lose, and I also hate to see Bears losses. But at this point, it's just not going to affect me the same way that it would earlier on in the season, because I've already accepted that we probably have no chance of making the playoffs. So I'm really just looking at how the young kids like Justin Fields, Jalen Johnson are going to be performing in this game. Hope you guys all have a good weekend. As always, bear down.